A 15-year-old Bronx girl is now charged with murder in the stabbing death of a 17-year-old. Sources say it happened Thursday during a fight between two groups of teens at a building on Boynton Avenue in Soundview. 17-year-old Emery Mizell was stabbed in the chest with an unknown object, and she later died at Jacoby Hospital. The 15-year-old suspect is charged with manslaughter and unlawful possession of a weapon.
The scream started at 2:15 p.m., not from the street, but from a seemingly safe Bronx courtyard, where a 17-year-old girl named Emery Mizell was supposed to be safe. One moment, digital taunts filled her phone. The next, a kitchen knife plunged into her chest. Her future, once bright with dreams of nursing and rap stardom, bled out onto the concrete. This wasn't just a fight. This was an execution fueled by an unseen enemy. What pushed a teenage feud to fatal violence in broad daylight? For months, an insidious current had been building, not in the bustling streets, but in the quiet corners of the internet. A relentless campaign of digital attacks, veiled insults, and bitter words targeting Emery. This wasn't just idle chatter. It was a simmering hostility, growing hotter by the day. What happens when the digital battles we fight online explode into real-world tragedy, shattering a life full of promise? On a seemingly ordinary afternoon, May 2nd, 2024, that online conflict crossed a terrifying line. A quiet Bronx courtyard became the flashpoint, transforming ordinary daylight into a scene of sudden, unimaginable horror. In mere moments, a bright future was extinguished. What happens when the digital battles we fight online explode into real-world tragedy, shattering a life full of promise? Before we confront the brutal reality of this harrowing true story and explore its profound consequences, if this journey into the depths of human conflict and its lessons resonates with you, consider joining our community by hitting subscribe. Welcome to Viral True Crime Stories, where we bring you the most compelling and heartbreaking true crime cases. Every story we share is based on real events that deserve to be heard. This story will be taking us to the Bronx, New York. In the vibrant embrace of the Bronx, a remarkable young woman named Emery Lynn Mizell was truly on the brink of everything. Born on October 18, 2006, Emery, known affectionately as Emma or Emma to Dawn, wasn't just a face in the crowd. She was the eldest of 5 children, a guiding presence, often helping with meals and looking after her younger siblings. Her father, Tony Mizell, called her a beautiful soul, a description her radiant smile easily confirmed. Emery's ambitions soared. As a senior at Metropolitan Soundview High, she was counting down the days to graduation in June, with dreams of attending nursing school or becoming a medical assistant. But beyond the textbooks, her true calling resonated with the rhythm of her city. She had a passion for music, eager to make her mark as one of the biggest rap stars to emerge from the Bronx. Her family believed she possessed the talent to achieve this, a testament to her creative spirit. She cherished moments with loved ones, known for being the life of the party, with a sweet heart and unwavering loyalty. A life so full of promise, so undeniably destined for great things. Have you ever felt the weight of expectation, the thrill of standing on the edge of your future, knowing you're ready to seize it? Do you know someone who, despite their brilliance, carried a hidden burden, a conflict others couldn't see? Emery was precisely that person, a young woman building her future, yet unknowingly caught in a quiet but persistent struggle that existed just out of sight. What force could possibly overshadow such a bright journey? And how could an unresolved online conflict threaten to consume her real-world existence? Emery's world, the familiar streets of Soundview, her school just blocks away from where she spent her days, felt secure. But as Emery reached for her future, a dangerous undercurrent, born from the very screens we hold in our hands, was about to drag her into a conflict far more treacherous than she could ever imagine. What began as a series of digital jabs would soon find its tragic climax in a Bronx courtyard. While Emery focused on her future, another reality was taking hold, one fought in the comments sections and private messages. Law enforcement sources later confirmed what many now dread. Emery, Mizell, and her eventual attacker were locked in an ongoing conflict. This wasn't a sudden burst of anger. It was a slow burn, a relentless campaign of harassment online, bombarding Emery with persistent negative attention. The digital world, often seen as harmless, had become an arena of torment. The person allegedly behind this digital barrage was a 15-year-old girl, her identity shielded by law due to her age. What adds another chilling layer is that she resided in the very building where the fatal incident would later occur. She also attended James Monroe High School, the same campus as Emery's Metropolitan Soundview High. The exact nature of their relationship, beyond this bitter dispute, remained unclear to Emery's family, suggesting a conflict rooted perhaps more in superficiality than deep-seated rivalry. This hidden dynamic makes the eruption even more unsettling. The link between online words and real-world violence is a critical, unsettling truth often ignored until it's too late. The harassment Emery faced online wasn't just words. It was a precursor, a fuse lit that would ultimately lead to physical confrontation. Crucially, every detail of this confrontation, every movement, and every terrible second was captured. The building's security cameras recorded the entire sequence, providing vital visual evidence that would piece together the grim sequence of events for detectives. How often do seemingly trivial online disagreements fester, unaddressed, until they erupt with devastating real-world consequences? The stage was set, not just by the simmering online animosity, but by the physical proximity of two young lives on a collision course. What started as veiled insults and digital barbs was about to culminate in an explosive confrontation, forever altering a family and a community. The mundane afternoon of May 2nd was about to become anything but ordinary. The clock ticked past 2:15 p.m. on May 2nd, 2024. In the Bronx's Soundview neighborhood, Boynton Avenue, typically a passage of everyday life, was about to become a place etched in memory. What began as a normal Thursday afternoon abruptly shifted, a sudden, horrifying breach of peace. Police received an urgent call, directing them to a residential courtyard where moments before, a casual gathering of teenagers had been brewing. Now, it was a scene of urgent distress, stained with a terrible reality. Approximately 10 teenagers had converged, surrounding Emery Mizell. According to building superintendent Armando de la Cruz, the 15-year-old assailant, a resident, emerged to confront Emery, who had approached from outside. A verbal exchange quickly escalated. Then, in a sickening flash, the fight turned physical. A weapon appeared, a kitchen knife, described as a little one, and in that terrifying instant, it found its mark. A single, fatal wound to Emery's chest. In the immediate aftermath, the attacker callously left Emery bleeding on the ground and fled back into the building. A Good Samaritan tenant bravely rushed to hold Emery's wound, but it was too severe. Witness Jerry White, 61, initially misjudged the unfolding events. He thought the teenagers were simply playing, a youthful squabble, until the desperate scramble for tissues to stop the blood revealed the horrifying truth. White watched as a bunch of the other involved youths retreated into the building, leaving Emery in the courtyard. This collective retreat, the abandonment of a gravely wounded individual, speaks volumes about the chaos and a chilling diffusion of responsibility among the group. As police quickly secured the grim scene, a handcuffed girl, described by neighbor Will Hires-Waylo as appearing in shock, was led from the building. She seemed unaware of the immense gravity of her actions, a stark contrast to the devastation unfolding around her. This story is a reminder of the fragile line between conflict and tragedy. If you find value in shedding light on these crucial lessons, kindly share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and leave a comment with your thoughts on how communities can better support their youth. But the courtyard's silence, broken only by the siren's wail, left behind more than just a grieving family. It left a profound question hanging in the air. Was this truly the end of a petty dispute, or was there an even more unsettling truth buried beneath the surface, waiting to be revealed? Emery's family was plunged into a chasm of grief by her incomprehensible death. Her father, Tony Mizell, articulated their sorrow, describing Emery as simply a beautiful child. His voice carried the weight of devastation, numbness, and disbelief. "We've never had a death like this in our family before," he shared, the raw loss palpable in his words. Emery's 13-year-old sister, Gianna, was particularly heartbroken. She grappled with a flood of mixed emotions and the crushing, sudden responsibility of becoming the eldest sibling to Tony, 8, and Josiah, 6, who were too young to grasp the brutal truth. Gianna held on to memories, recalling Emery as her good big sister, cherishing their moments of dancing and singing together. Emery's grandmother, Sandra Dennis, was left speechless, unable to comprehend the senselessness. "We have no idea why this happened or who the stabbers." The need to understand the why in such a sudden, brutal loss cuts deep, making their grief even harder to bear. LaTanya Mizell, Emery's second cousin, offered a broader, poignant reflection. She emphasized the shared loss. "These are kids, both of them. They both lost their lives." Her words cut through the immediate pain, highlighting the absurdity of the conflict. "It's stupid stuff. It's not worth taking somebody's life." Despite the assailant's youth, LaTanya maintained a clear stance on prosecution. As the community sought solace, a poignant gathering took place outside Emery and her father's Evergreen Avenue apartment building. Candles flickered, balloons swayed, flowers adorned the space, and music filled the air, a collective outpouring of sorrow and affection. Another memorial also stood at the very scene of the crime. The Soundview community reacted with profound shock. Wilfredo Hirazuelo, a 38-year-old neighbor, remembered Emery as a good kid who always had a smile. He voiced the community's collective despair. "It's kids killing kids," and issued a clear appeal for improvement. "We have to do better as a community." Hirazuelo specifically pointed to a noticeable lack of programs to keep them off the street for young people in Soundview. This incident pulled into sharp focus a disturbing trend of youth conflict across New York City, particularly in the Bronx. Community members and officials alike echoed a common message: the urgent need for societal improvement and greater support for young individuals. Emery's death wasn't just one isolated act. It was a symptom of wider, deeper deficiencies. In response, grief counselors were immediately dispatched to Metropolitan Soundview High, where Emery had been a student, to support students and staff. New York City Schools Chancellor David C. Banks acknowledged the wider implications of Emery's death, noting a worrying pattern: a significant rise in conflict just outside school buildings. While major felonies within schools remained lower than pre-pandemic levels, the issue of violence in the immediate vicinity of schools was a pressing concern, directly impacting student safety. This revelation shifts the focus from a singular incident to a systemic problem. Could the tragedy of Emery Mizell be a profound reflection, exposing not just an act of violence, but a gaping void in community support for our young people? As the community grappled with its grief, the legal system began its slow, deliberate march towards justice. But for a 15-year-old girl now facing the full weight of the law and a family shattered by an incomprehensible loss, the true measure of justice and the path to healing remained uncertain. Following the incident, the 15-year-old suspect was quickly taken into custody. She was formally charged with serious offenses: murder, manslaughter, and unlawful possession of a weapon. Her name, by law, remains withheld from the public due to her minor status. Reports also noted that after her arrest, she was transported to a hospital, though details about this were not immediately made clear. New York state law provides a specific framework for serious cases involving minors. Young people between the ages of 13 and 15, when accused of grave offenses like murder or manslaughter, can face prosecution in adult criminal court. Alternatively, these cases may be transferred to family court, where they become designated felony act petitions, carrying their own significant consequences. If a minor, aged 14 or older, is accused of causing another person's death, they can be tried as an adult, potentially facing the same murder or manslaughter charges. This path highlights the immense legal weight now resting on the shoulders of the 15-year-old. Emery Mizell's story is more than a tragic incident. It's a profound, undeniable lesson etched into the heart of a community. It exposes the immediate danger of online conflict, how digital disputes can escalate from screens to physical spaces with devastating speed. This case forcefully calls for a critical need for community action and robust youth programs, initiatives that offer young people alternatives and support outside of negative influences. It lays bare the devastating ripple effect violence leaves on families, the permanent void created by such a senseless act. Above all, it underscores the urgent importance of confronting bullying at its very roots, before it has a chance to claim another life. This tragic event demanded a response. No, seriously, this tragedy demanded a fundamental shift in how we protect our youth. Our hearts ache for Emery Mizell's family and loved ones. The story of her beautiful life, cut short by such a senseless act, reminds us of the fragility of youth and the profound impact of unresolved conflict. May her dreams, though unfulfilled, inspire us to foster kindness and understanding in our communities, ensuring no other promise is tragically lost to violence. Emery's spirit, as bright as her smile, will not be forgotten. Emery's lost potential, her dreams of nursing and music, serve as a powerful reminder of what was taken. Her story, though heartbreaking, becomes a vital lesson for us all. If Emery Mizell's story has moved you, if it has opened your eyes to the silent battles many young people face, then kindly like this video to spread awareness. Subscribe to Viral True Crime Stories for more narratives that aren't just about crime, but about the crucial lessons we can learn from them. The court's judgment may offer legal closure, but the true legacy of Emery Mizell will be forged in the actions we take as a society to prevent another promise from being tragically cut short. What steps do you believe are most crucial in protecting our youth from the dangers of escalating conflict? Dear viewers, if you found this investigation insightful, kindly like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell for future updates. It will mean a lot to us and encourage us to keep bringing you these true crime stories. Thanks for watching till the end, and until our next video, stay safe.